Hey guys, yep. Hey guys, yeah, I got you guys. All right, for folks that are on Facebook, YouTube, we're about to go live on television, so just bear with me here a minute, and we'll be able to talk about the forecast here. Yeah, hey there, guys. Yeah, so we just jumped onto Facebook Live as well as on YouTube. So if you guys have any questions about the forecast for us, we're going to be live on here going through this evening. So again, any questions that you have, feel free to ask away. So let's dive into what we've been talking about today. Of course, Ryan has mentioned that potential for some sleet, especially for the Connecticut shoreline. So I thought it would be a good idea to start with that little explainer. So let's walk you through what we've seen so far today. And that has been mainly just plain old, snow across Connecticut. And that has been because we have noticed cold temperatures, not only at the ground, of course, it's cold at the ground. We have temperatures right now not too far away from about 5 degrees or so. So we definitely have some cold air at the ground, but that also has been continuing, all the way up through the cloud layer. But as we go through the rest of tonight, we're going to start to notice, especially for the shoreline, well, just a little bit of warmer air. And that's going to start to move in higher up into the atmosphere for us. And whenever we see those levels that high, warmer air moving over the colder air, well, those snowflakes that fall from the clouds will melt briefly and then refreeze. So that's why we're going to end up seeing just a little bit of sleet on there. On the portions of the Connecticut shoreline. So we'll keep an eye on that. Fortunately, the warmer layer is going to stay a little bit shorter. It's going to stay a little shallow. So that will be more of a sleet event versus having to deal with freezing rain as well. Temperatures right now across Connecticut, 7 degrees in Hartford, 12 degrees in New Haven, 6 at the airport. It is cold out there, and our temperatures have been pretty important for us in a couple different ways. Of course, you get the determination between snow, freezing rain, sleet, but also with how much snow that could end up falling. So on a day like today, where we have very cold temperatures, that will kind of expand our snow ratios for us. So, later on tonight, or earlier today, rather, we were talking with folks and, snow ratios between 15 to 1, maybe 20 to 1. And what that essentially means is whenever we get 1 inch of liquid water on a regular day where our temperatures are close to 30 or so, that would give us 10 inches of snow. But on a day like today, how dry it's been, we have seen snowfall ratios higher than that. So, anywhere from 15 to 1. So we can squeeze more out of the atmosphere. So instead of just 10 inches of snow with that old ratio, maybe 15 inches of snow with just 1 inch of water. We've gotten some reports right now for us there. Rich in Torrington says about 12 inches of snow there. So already about a foot so far for parts of the state. Belanca says very powdery, so no snowman. And yeah, that's unfortunately been true for us. We've been seeing that very dry snow. So like Jeremy mentioned earlier, I used the leaf blower to clear the driveway, and it honestly took 5 minutes, and it was the fastest I've ever been able to clear the driveway before. So yeah, not the best for making a snowman or snowballs, but as we go through tonight, we're going to try to warm things up a little bit. Probably still not the best for making snowmen or that sort of thing, but it's going to be more of that kind of powdery snow, at least for northern Connecticut too. Andre wants to know, should we go outside to shovel after the game or wait until the storm is over and maybe wait until tomorrow? That's kind of personal preference. If you don't want to go out there multiple times, if you want to kind of shovel everything all at once, or if you're going to be okay with going out there several times. For me, I tried to do a little bit earlier today. The good news for us, we're all staying, below freezing for us. So if you go out and you shovel everything, you're not going to have to worry about things melting later on tonight. So it's kind of up to you if you guys want to go out there now or if you guys want to go out there in the morning. Sarah says about 10 inches in Norwalk. And Jay says about a foot or more in Thomaston there, guys. So we've been keeping an eye on the comments. I know you can't see them on the screen there, but we're on Facebook Live, and we're also on YouTube as well. So a couple different ways that you guys can watch us now, and you guys can ask some questions. We have all the feeds up here, and we'll be answering more questions throughout the evening, guys. Okay. Yeah, no, that's a great question. So winds today, Kevin, have been relatively light, but we'll likely see that increase just a little bit by later on tonight. So some of that can get blown around a little bit there. And just so far, what we've seen this afternoon, kind of, I think more importantly, has been those snowfall rates. So the truck driver, they go by and the snow's just coming down at such a good clip that it just adds right back up. So as we go through tonight, another thing that will help the roads will be those snowfall rates that will slowly start to come down, and that will help as far as trying to get those roads nice and clear. But to your point, we could have, some of that snow try to move around with just a little bit of wind later on tonight. Alrighty, guys. So we just did a few live Q&As with the anchors. So sorry if that was a little awkward. But let's get back to some of the questions that you guys have going through this afternoon and then continuing on through tonight. Also, let me know what you guys are expecting for snow. Let me know what you guys have seen so far today. Let's go to Richie in Milford, about 12 inches, all powder. When's the switch? So great question. Let's go to radar right now, and we're going to walk you guys through kind of what we're seeing out there. I'll start just because I have it up here first with some snow reports, what we've seen so far today. We'll go through a couple of those now. So earlier we were talking about, Richie was saying, about 12 inches there in Milford. Let's see how everyone else in Connecticut is doing. So about 5.8 inches there in Columbia, just outside of Norwich there, or in Norwich, about 5 inches as well. In the quiet corner, we go to Pomfret, about 6.5 inches of snow reported there. Simsbury, about 7.5 inches, just over that. And I did do some measurements earlier this afternoon. If you guys want to check out my social media pages, about 9.5 inches in the West Hartford area. We've also seen 8 inches in Torrington, and we go out to New Milford, close to about 7 inches. So to get to Richie's question here, when is the switch over? That is going to be happening relatively soon for us. So let me just pull up the radar, and we'll be able to show you guys kind of what's going on here. And actually, I'm going to switch this over to our dual pol radar, and this does a much better job at kind of showing where that line of sleet is. So when we look at dual pol radar, sorry, I've been talking all afternoon. We noticed this little ribbon of yellow here, and see if I can pull this up. Let's get the pointer here. So notice this little ribbon of yellow, and this extends all the way through Long Island, and then maybe even starting to mix through portions of New York City. That is our sleet line. So everything to the north of this line is still snow, and we're seeing that sleet kind of transition zone right through sections of Long Island. If we try to zoom in a little bit, let's see what happens if we switch to the Boston radar. And yeah, you can definitely see how close that sleet is to the Connecticut shoreline there. So very close by. If you're right along the shore, I wouldn't imagine that it's going to be too much longer before you start to notice that changeover happen. So what we've noticed, it's just starting to graze parts of the shoreline there. So we keep going. This was close to, let's see what time it is there. That was about 3:45 or so. And there's your current time there of about 4:30. And you can see just how close that sleet is to reaching the shore. So especially south eastern Connecticut, I keep switching through the radars here, but Old Saybrook to Niantic, New London, Groton, Mystic, Stonington, you guys are going to be up first, I think, to start to see some of that changeover. We go out to southwestern Connecticut, so, Stamford to Greenwich, Bridgeport, Norwalk, Milford. There you go, Richie. Right now, it looks like that line is still to your south. So it looks like, at least on the radar imagery here, if you had to draw a line, let me just go back to there we go. That one's such a better vantage point for us. So it will look like that sleet line is, just hugging the Connecticut shoreline. So give it a little bit more time and you guys will end up switching over to just plain old, you'll switch over from snow to sleet there. Some other observations there. Ashland from Coventry, about 14 inches so far. There we go. So more than a foot. Victor and Hamden, about 8 inches there. 11 inches in Barkhamsted and about 11 in Sandy Hook. Oh, great. I'll check our email to make sure we have your picture. So thanks so much. And yeah, guys, you can send us your photos or video to our NBC Connecticut email, or if you want to just put the photos in this live feed, that's another way that you can watch that. So we have a couple different options out there for you if you're trying to send us some photos. Love to see that. And we really appreciate all the snow totals that you guys have sent us in as well. So I think a question that everybody is going to be having, how much more is it going to snow for? So it just depends, Sherry, on what you've seen so far. So the forecast total wise hasn't changed. We're still expecting anywhere from about 12 to 18 inches of snow along the Connecticut shoreline, for inland Connecticut, and about 8 to 12 inches for portions of the shoreline. So I think a lot of folks at the shore have made it very close to about a foot of snow so far. But now we're going to start to notice that sleet, and that will add to your totals technically, but it's going to start to kind of weigh everything down a little bit. So it just depends on how much snow you've seen so far. So Ashlyn just saw about 14 inches in Coventry. She still probably has another 4 to maybe even more than 4 inches of snow left. So maybe a few spots tonight getting above 18 inches of snow. And that has just really been because of how cold we are. And with those snowfall ratios, well stretched out over 10 to 1. We had one observation earlier today of a 20 or even a 30 to 1 ratio. So that would be 30 inches of snow with just 1 inch of liquid water. So it's all because of our temperatures today. Ryan was talking about this earlier. He was looking up some snowfall totals from the 1960s, and the most snow that Bradley has seen as far as our temperatures are concerned. So the most snow that we've ever had with our temperatures below 10 degrees is about 4.5 inches of snow. So we have either broken that already or getting very close to that. And I think so far today at Bradley, our high has been about 7. So still plenty of time to add to those snow totals, likely breaking a record there. Because it is unusual to get this much snow with it being this cold on a regular snowstorm for us. We're talking about temperatures in the upper 20s, lower 30s. The shoreline is dealing with that freezing mix and that plain old rainfall, that snow line. But it's just that little bit of sleet that is expected for us later on. So Sarah wants to know, when is the ice coming? So not necessarily ice, not necessarily freezing rain, but we are expecting sleet for you guys later on this evening. So let me pull up Futurecast and we'll walk through all of this together. So let me pull this up here. I'm going to back this up just a little bit here. There we go. All right. So still have a good bit of snow out there as we speak. And as we go through tonight, we are going to end up seeing just a little bit of that transition along the shore. I think a question that we still have is how far north that sleet line will kind of extend for us. So when we talk about going through tonight, this is 6 p.m. I think this model is a little bit behind. I would imagine by 6 o'clock that we are getting closer to that sleet line moving through the 95 corridor there. So that's what we'll keep an eye on. moving through tonight for us. So as far as when we could see that sleet line kind of move in, that would definitely be closer to about 6 o'clock or so. And then as we continue on past 9 p.m., again, this model has it further to the south. I think that will be further to the north at that point. We'll go back through this a little bit slower here. So continuing past 6, again, if we were to drag this further to the north a little bit along the shoreline, sleet, we see that move further inland, so maybe getting as close as Middletown or Waterbury by about 9 or 10 o'clock tonight. And then everything will cool back down past midnight, and we're still going to be dealing with some on and off snow showers through tomorrow morning, and then even through, there you go, that's about midday or so, still dealing with on and off snow showers, and then everything clears out as we move past tomorrow night. And by Tuesday morning, the sun is out, but we're still talking about cold January conditions for us. So to answer your question, Chelsea, is there more snow tomorrow? Yes, we'll probably get another fluffy 1 to maybe even up to 3 inches for some, depending on who ends up seeing, back-to-back snow showers. So still snow possible for tomorrow for us. Not going to be as heavy, not going to be as consistent. It's been snowing, and we've been looking out the station window here. It has been snowing since about 9, 10 a.m. and it hasn't stopped. So we've really seen that snow pile up for us. And that will continue through about, let's call it 9 or 10 p.m. And then things will become a little bit more isolated later on this evening. Cold temperatures, though, out there across the state, and we don't too often see that here in Connecticut. Usually we see our temperatures a little bit warmer when we've had snow on the ground and snowing there. So not too often. We're talking about single-digit temperatures with a good bit of snow coming down. Chrissy wants to know how many inches so far in Willimantic. Let's go back to those snowfall reports and see if we have one for Eastern Connecticut for you guys there. Definitely, we got a ton here. So let's zoom in into Northeastern Connecticut. Can't get you Willimantic, but I'll get you pretty close. Let's start just outside of Hebron there. Columbia, just about 6 inches for Columbia. Andover, close to 6 inches as well. We go to Coventry, about 7.3 inches of snow there. We'll get rid of those old reports. 10 inches at Yukon there for Storrs. And also looks like just outside of Storrs, another location in Storrs closer to about 7 inches. This looks like it's in Bolton, about 6.5 inches for you guys. Let's go to Manchester. We have some other reports there, about 6.5 inches. That snow report was at about 2:30, so 2 hours ago. I would imagine that, they're seeing, what was that, 6.5 inches? Is that what I said? Yeah. I would be surprised if they were closer to either 7.5 or maybe even approaching about 8 inches. So definitely a lot. Simsbury, about 7.5, just over 7.5 inches there. Any other reports? There we go. Northwestern Connecticut. Let's see for you guys what you all have seen so far. Barkhamsted, closer to about 8 inches. Winsted, 7.5. Also, Winchester Center, about 8 inches of snow there. And Torrington, about 8 inches. Now, that report was about 3:30, so just about an hour or so ago. And remember, the forecast total snowfall is between 1 foot and 1.5 feet. So we still have more snow on the way for us. That's for sure. Let's go back. Let's go back to radar here. We'll zoom things out a little bit more just to give you guys an idea of what we still have to see, and just to put this in a scale for you. So we have snow going on from down east sections of Maine all the way out to portions of Indiana. And then we have snow, ice, that wintry mix there along the spine of the Appalachians there. So western areas of North Carolina, South Carolina, and even in through sections of Georgia. So Augusta, Georgia, still seeing a mixture of freezing rain and sleet there right along Interstate 20, and even severe weather to talk about along the Gulf Shore. Panama City, Florida, severe thunderstorm warnings. And you notice that line stretching through Albany, Georgia as well. So a very wide-reaching system for us. But we still have more snow on the way. I'll loot this here the last couple of hours so you can see all of this is still moving in our direction. So much more snow is going to be on the way for us, kind of going through the next several hours. So just be prepared for more snow. Take a look at this. Look at those snowfall. I was going to say snowfall rates, but just the amount of snow that's coming down just offshore, just south of the Cape and the islands there. So very heavy snowfall there, some heavier bands of snow. As far as what we're seeing in Connecticut, it looks like it's coming down pretty good still from New Haven to Bridgeport, eastern Connecticut, right along the 395 corridor. It looks like it's slightly lighter in the Hartford area, but only slightly. Let's see. Any other? So Lisa says 18 inches in Meriden. If that's true, then you guys are going to be maybe closer to about 20 to 22 inches of snow. Just double check when you guys are doing your measurements that you're not measuring a snowdrift. So check out my Instagram page. I did a little video on how to do correct measurements. So you want at least 3 different measurements from your yard, preferably away from either underneath trees or next to your house or next to a building, because that's where our snow totals can get a little bit skewed. So what you want to do is try to get to the middle of your yard, away from the trees and the buildings, and do a few different measurements there. And that will give you a more precise snowfall estimate there. So Lisa, if you only took one measurement, it was close to the house, double check that for me. But if it is, that's going to be an impressive snowfall a little bit later on. Kim says too much in Shelton. For the fans, not fans of snow, yeah, a lot of snow out there for you. Sean says, I'm ready for spring. It's just cold. It's just wicked cold out there right now. Let's see. Ryan says, it's puking snow in Middletown. I definitely agree with that. Let's see. Beth says, looks like we can't add photos or videos in the comments on a live feed. Okay, so my bad. Just shoot me a message on Facebook, or you can send them to us let me pull it up here too. The email is let me pull it up so I don't mess it up for you guys. Let's see here. So there you go. So share it at nbcconnecticut.com. Or if you go back to any of our other posts, either that was me, Ryan, or NBC Connecticut itself, go to their posts and you can put your photos there. And I just realized that Beth's comment there is hiding that. So let me take that down. So share it at nbcconnecticut.com, or you can tag NBC Connecticut, myself, or Ryan. We're all going to be keeping an eye on the feed. So if you can't send pictures in this feed right now, another way to do it is by tagging us or shooting us an email. So let's continue on for folks that have any other questions or observations here. So Terryville coming in, close to 12 inches of snow there. Rosa, thanks so much for letting us know. Scott wants to know, is Durham going to get sleet? And I think you guys are going to be, well, it's still a bit of a question there. I think the sleet line could go all the way through, could go through Middletown. Let's take a look at our dual pole again. So I saw a question there from Ryan asking, why is the radar red? So when we switch this over to dual pole, we are looking at the size of the particles that are falling out of the sky. So not necessarily looking at, how heavy something might be. We're looking at the size. And whenever we see red, that means we're seeing one type. So all the things that are falling out of the sky are the same shape. So in this case, for most of Connecticut, it's snow. Now, where we see the sleet line, this is where we start to notice different shapes. So when sleet is falling, it looks different on radar than what snow looks like. So the radar detects that and says, oh, well, this is where I see something different. And that's that ribbon of yellow here. So it's this area that's where we're having that sleet. So as you can see, the line itself is still just to our south. If I switch this over to Boston, it actually looks like we're starting to see a transition in southeastern Connecticut. Let me know what you guys are seeing. If you're in Clinton, maybe even Madison, Old Saybrook, Niantic to New London, Groton, Mystic, Noank, going down towards Stonington, and that could extend a little bit further inland right now. So possibly Lyme and maybe even Ledyard, Salem, perhaps Norwich, depending on if the radar is having a little bit of a lag right now. So let me know what you guys are seeing in those towns. Not out of the question, though, Scott, to maybe see some of that sleep make its way to Durham. So let us know. Keep us posted what you guys are seeing out there. Deb says you have almost 11 inches of snow on the ground there in Meriden. So getting close to a foot. We've seen a foot. Carrie says at least a foot in Bristol. I wouldn't be surprised for us here in West Hartford. I looked earlier this afternoon, probably right around 3 o'clock or so, and we had about 9.5 inches in West Hartford. So I wouldn't be surprised if we were closing in on maybe 10.5 inches of snow here. Let's see what else. Just measured out on the back deck in Meriden, a healthy 10 inches of snow. Mike, so thanks for that update. Also try, if you don't mind kind of stretching out in the yard a little bit, try to measure out in the yard too, kind of away from the buildings. You might find a different number. So again, try to get 3, maybe 4 different measurements and kind of take the average. That's what I do when I'm trying to get a more fine-tuned estimate there. Nick wants to know, what are the winds doing? Is the wind in a blizzard area? So is it blizzard criteria? So we would need, for a blizzard, I believe it's winds gusting or sustained between about, I believe it's 30 or 35 miles per hour or so. And I don't believe we've hit that. Let me see if I can pull up our current wind gust here. If this guy wants to load, come on. So let's take a look. Here we go. Not too far away. Not too far away at all from potentially, I don't want to say blizzard conditions because we're really not there yet, but we see winds gusting right now, 29 to 30 miles per hour along the Connecticut shoreline. So yeah, 29, 30, 33, Bridgeport, 24 gusts there in Stonington, same thing in Chester as well as in the Hartford area. So not calling this blizzard conditions just yet. The other part of this is our visibility. We need to have reduced visibility to go along with that. And as far as how much of a reduced visibility we're seeing right now, let's jump into current visibility here. So let's see what this was. At one point, every station in Connecticut, all of these observations were a 1/4 mile or less. We got 1/8 of a mile at Windsor Locks at the airport. The best spot right now looks to be Bridgeport, coming in about 3/4 of a mile of visibility, but everyone else between about 1/2 mile and a 1/4 mile of visibility. So that snow just impacting everybody. As you've kind of, as you've seen, kind of, you look out your window right now, it's more or less probably starting to come down pretty good. Dave says 9 inches in Scotland. Dave, thanks so much for that update for your area. We got some other questions here from Milford, Donna there, April in Newington, also for Southbury and for Milford. So let's talk about some of those locations, what you guys have seen so far today, as far as some of those snow reports there. If I don't have your town on here, we'd love it if you could take some measurements for us. We'd love to know what you guys are seeing out there. Let me just double check. So we're also live on television right now. I know they're going to be coming back to me here in just a little bit. So let me just make sure my hit time here isn't coming up. So just bear with me 1 second. Let me just ask these guys about my next hit. One second. Okay, so let me just ask them and then get back to some of your questions here. Okay. So we got a lot of questions about everyone's town. So let me try to kind of just do another kind of broader sense of what we've seen so far for our snow totals. So let's go to the Middletown area. Middletown, close to about 5 inches of snow. That was about 2 p.m. So I wouldn't be surprised if you were closer to either 6 inches of snow or maybe 7 inches of snow. close to about 6 inches as well from 2 p.m. in Wallingford. Durham, about 6 inches there. And we've seen Hamden close to about 6 inches of snow. The immediate shoreline, let's go down the line here. Let's start in New Haven. So for the New Haven area, close to about West Haven, a foot of snow. That was about 3:45. So how about that? West Haven, about 7 inches. We go to Brantford, about 10 inches of snow. Guilford, about 10 inches as well. Madison, close to about 5. And about 10 inches of snow we've seen there in Westbrook. Let's go through southeastern Connecticut. So we'll move around a little bit, try to get everyone snow totals here. So North Madison, about 5 inches. Killingworth, about 4.5 so far. That was about 2 p.m., so you guys probably have a little bit more now. Chester was about 6 inches at 2 o'clock. And Old Saybrook, or Saybrook Manor rather, is about just under 11 inches of snow. And that was one of our recent ones that we've gotten in. That was about 50 minutes ago. Could be over 11 inches right now, maybe closer to 11.5. Let me know what you guys are seeing there. Nyack's at about 4.5, and that was from 2 p.m. Groton's at about 6.5, and that was about almost 2 hours ago now at this point. So more snow on the way for us. And then, yes, eventually seeing that little bit of a changeover for the shoreline where we're expecting still to have some sleet that will filter in a bit later on. So we'll keep a close eye on that as that line kind of starts to move in a little bit. Shelton's up to about 5 inches. Monroe closer to 11. Let me get rid of that. Monroe's closer to about 11 inches of snow. And Sonia, you guys, 10 inches of snow. That was from about 3:50 this afternoon. Danbury's at about 4.6. Now, that was an earlier observation. That was about 11:30 this morning. So you guys definitely have more than 5 inches of snow on the ground. Probably closer, I would guess, maybe 7 or 8 inches of snow. Definitely a possibility there. Some other reports, I believe I mentioned these already. But New Fairfield at about 11 inches. That was about 4 p.m. So maybe closer to a foot at this point. New Milford's at about 7 inches of snow. And we'll go to northeastern Connecticut. Let's see if I can try to find some other spots I didn't mention earlier. Danielson, about 5 inches of snow for you guys. 6.5 inches of snow in Pomfret. And we go to Stafford. Staffordville, about 5 inches of snow. That was 2 o'clock this afternoon. And we've also would expect that number to be a little bit higher since it was, about more than 2 hours ago. So likely seeing a little bit more than that. Some other comments here. Michelle says that the wind is picked up in Waterbury. I noticed that earlier this afternoon too, that wind slowly to start to pick up for us there. What I'm going to do, let me just grab. I was just curious. I wanted to see, I was reaching out to some of my friends at the National Weather Service, and he was giving me a couple of good links to go to when we want to know about certain criteria for any kind of alerts for us. So let me go back to the site that he sent me to, and it was very easy. If you guys want to follow along with this too, let me just get the link here for us. So if you wanted to follow along with me, you can go to weather.gov/BOX, so Boston there, BOX/criteria. And that's where you can go to follow along. And also kind of, if you're ever curious about, what's the definition of a blizzard warning? What's the definition of, a cold weather alert? We had that the other day. So let's talk about our winter alerts here. So for the Boston area, which includes Hartford, Tull, and Windham County, we need sustained winds or frequent gusts at or greater than 35 miles per hour, considerable falling or blowing snow, and a frequently reduced visibility, less than a quarter mile for at least 3 hours, and that's consistent. And it needs to be over at least a 3-hour period in general. So there's a lot of criteria that kind of goes into what we would need for blizzard conditions. Now, I think we're having little pieces of all of this, but has all this happened at the same time and has been consistent? So that's the part that we've missed out on. We've gotten winds gusting to about 30, maybe even a little bit more than that for some folks, but it doesn't quite line up with our visibility and the heaviest of that snowfall there. So I think we just missed out on, calling this a blizzard, but hey, a very healthy, a very decent snowstorm for us, nonetheless. Stafford, Gloria says Stafford has at least 11 inches of snow. Yeah, so that report that I have on the screen, that was there from 2 p.m. So definitely likely you guys have close to about a foot of snowfall there. Other northeastern snow totals, please. So yeah, we're still a little bit blank. This is what we've seen so far as official reports. So for folks that are in northeastern Connecticut, if you're in Ashford, Hampton, Willimantic, if you're in Putnam, Woodstock, Coventry, going to Tolland, let me know what you guys are seeing out there. Union, some other towns, Ellington, Summers, and then getting closer to the 91 quarter, Enfield. Also, let me know what you guys are seeing out there. Would love to know what you guys are talking about for snowfall totals. Love to know that. Let's go to Enfield. That was about 6 inches of snow in Suffield, so just outside of Enfield. That was 2:30 this afternoon. So likely seeing more. I believe this is Bradley. So Bradley Airport accumulation at 1 p.m. was about 3.6 inches of snow. Again, that was at 1 o'clock, and here we are now at 5 p.m. So we'll see what their next update is in just a little bit. All right, so what we've seen so far. Let me go back to other questions you guys have. All righty. So let me get back to the forecast. So we've talked a lot about snow totals for different parts of the state. Kingdom says, do you know when all of this is supposed to end? You probably mentioned this. What time is all of this supposed to end? So the heaviest snow, what we're seeing out there right now, is expected to continue for probably the next couple of hours. But then once we get past about 8 or even 9 p.m., we're really going to notice those snowfall rates start to taper off, and then the snow showers break apart. But for even tomorrow, we're going to be dealing with on and off lighter snow showers there. Someone also wants to know what happened to Snow Monster. Snow Monster has been retired. So Snow Monster is officially enjoying retirement. But we have crews that are all over the state, and we've been seeing some pretty incredible video from them about just seeing all that snow that's been kind of blowing around there. Hey, Peggy, how are you? 10 inches of snow there in Groton. Peggy, thanks so much for that report there. About 10 to 12 inches in Columbia. So, Patrick, thanks so much for your report in Columbia. Let's go through the rest of the forecast here going through tonight. So, still expecting snow to continue for us, and even still maybe some moderate snow possible even through about 6 p.m. Now, I do think that the forecast model here is just a little bit too far to the south. So what I'm going to do is make some adjustments here. So I can actually move this around a little bit. So what I want to do here, let's just clear this out. And from what we've seen on radar right now, we're something at about this, at present. So I actually have to move that a little bit further to the north. So we're more or less about here, give or take, a couple miles or so. Now this could make some changes a little bit for us moving through tonight, but in general, we're noticing that sleet line for the Connecticut shoreline within the next hour. If you haven't seen that already, if you're in southeastern Connecticut, let me know what you guys are seeing there. If you're right on the shore there, so Groton and all the way to even like Clinton, maybe even seeing that mixed precipitation there. So a little bit of sleet possible for us for a good majority of the shoreline by about 6 p.m. And that continues even going through about 8 or 9 p.m. Now, this is where, because I've adjusted this is where I'm going to disagree with the forecast model. we are not going to get, I don't believe, above freezing along the shoreline. So I know that shows a little bit of green there, but I'm thinking this would just be sleet. I think it will be tough though for Hartford, for areas north of Waterbury, between Waterbury and Torrington, and even sections of eastern Connecticut to see that mixing line. So at this point, I would actually start to drag the forecast model back down south a little bit. So let me do that here. So by 9:30 p.m., I wouldn't be surprised if this is about where we ended up seeing that sleet, move all the way through. It could get closer to Hartford. We'll just have to see how far that warmer air, tries to go in further off to the north there. So Middletown to Waterbury, Danbury, Norwich, that potential for some sleet moving through a little bit later on tonight. Then we cool right back down. By midnight, we're returning to snow for everybody, but unlike what we're seeing right now, not as heavy. And we're noticing, scattered snow showers there. So light and on and off snow showers for Monday morning. We get a brief break, I think, for parts of the morning, and then we'll have some snow showers, try to fill back in by the afternoon. And we'll pause this here at about midday. So on and off snow showers. So additional snow tomorrow, maybe another couple of inches, definitely a possibility for us. And then by tomorrow evening, we see that line finally clear out of here. And by Tuesday, we're back to the sunshine and the kiddos are right back to school. So I think tomorrow the crews are going to have a much easier time with keeping those roads clear. And I think the kids are going to be back to school tomorrow. I'm pretty sure the whole state, everyone is just hunkered down inside today. I don't think anyone's really out and about. Going back to some snowfall totals, Maria there, Old Lyme, about 15 inches of snow in Old Lyme. That's pretty impressive for you guys down at the shoreline there. 30 minutes ago in Meriden, sleet, it was mixing in. So, okay, great. We're starting to see that sleet work its way a little bit further in. So the model is running a little bit colder, a little bit further to the south. So if that's true, if we're in Meriden, so that would be roughly there. So you can see how the model here is a little bit off, but more or less, here's what you guys can expect as we kind of go forward. So that sleet continues through the Connecticut shoreline all the way through tonight, and then we're going to end up transitioning right back to just plain old snowfall. Anyone know what time is it supposed to stop snowing in Stamford? So for Stamford, you guys are going to still be in all of that snow through the overnight period there. And, you guys are also going to end up talking about just a little bit of a mixed precipitation as well. That will work its way through the shore as well. But the bulk of this likely stopping after about 9 p.m. And that's true not only for Stamford, but I think a good majority of the state, we're going to notice things really start to drop off after about 9 p.m. or so. So lighter snow after that. But right now, if we go to radar, we still have a good bit of snow on the way for us. So those are our snowfall reports that we've gotten so far. Again, if you're in Eastern Connecticut, there's been a little bit of a gap there. Same thing in the northwestern corner. Let us know what you guys have seen out there today as far as those snow totals go. Love to know what's happening in your neck of the woods there. So as you can see, we zoom this out and there is much more snow to go for us. So, just been talking about that continuing through tonight. But the good news, the heaviest of that snow should be tapered off by about 9 p.m. And then we'll start to break things apart just a little bit more for us. Let's see here. Weather Channel said it's going to snow most of tomorrow into tomorrow night, which is different than what you're saying. And what the future radar is saying. Well, it is the Weather Channel. So I would say that still most of our stuff is going to break apart as we move through tonight. On and off snow showers for tomorrow. So we're not saying it's not going to snow tomorrow, just not as heavy and not as widespread as what we're seeing out there right now. So still expect snow for tomorrow, but just on and off throughout the day. Let's see. Winstead about 15 inches. So Tim, thanks so much for that report there. So over a foot of snow for you guys. And Rich, it's going to stay very cold the rest of the month. Yeah, it will. I'll show you guys the 10-day forecast in a little bit. Still expecting cold temperatures. So the snow that we get for the rest of tonight and for portions of tomorrow, don't expect that to go away anytime soon. Can you tell me about Brookfield? Any school closing announcements? Brookfield has 12 inches measured a few moments ago. So for Brookfield, for you guys, still expect the snow to continue next several hours and still maybe a little bit moderate at times. Breaks apart tonight. For school closings for tomorrow, we've already seen a bunch of delays, or not delays. I'm kind of looking at our other monitor over here. Looks like a lot of stuff that is already closed for Monday for us. So for Monday itself, there'll likely end up being a lot of schools that are closed for tomorrow. By Tuesday, I think we're back to normal for us. So will there be school on Tuesday? Yes, I'm thinking we're going to end up with school back to normal for Tuesday, mainly because the crews are going to be able to play catch up for tomorrow. So we're going to be able to see all of that get cleaned up throughout the day tomorrow. Now, there will be still some snow out there, but I think, a combination of the crews getting out there to clear things up, our snowfall rates coming down, and just on and off snow showers, I think we'll be in better shape for school on more chances. Sorry, guys, losing my train of thought a little bit. Back to school for Tuesday, and then we're just cold the rest of the week there. Let's see, other snowfall reports. Let's see, about 11 inches in Thomas's area of Naugatuck. So, Thomas, thanks so much for that. Alexander, more snow for next weekend. I haven't looked, honestly, to be totally honest with you guys. I have not looked anything beyond today and tomorrow, just with all the snow that we're seeing right now. At last check, our 10-day was dry for next weekend, but we'll have to see. I know that at one point we were talking about maybe another system, but that kind of, stayed further to our south. So we'll keep an eye on it. But right now, let's just focus on the rest of tonight there. Keith says, looks like it's slowing down in Wallingford. And Wallingford, is this winding up early? No, we still got plenty of snow on the way, but let's take a closer look back at home for us there. And you guys just might be in just a little bit of a lull right now. And also let me know too, if you guys are starting to see any kind of a little bit of a sleet mixture. And with our temperatures, guys, that have just been so cold, that has also helped the snow be more of that powder, a very fine snow. So it's not your heavy, wet snow. There's no big snowflakes. Not the best for making a snowball, making a snowman, unfortunately there. All right, let's see some other stuff. Tonight's forecast. Let's see, tonight's forecast. So still talking about some snow out there for us, on and off snow showers during the overnight period. And then we're going to end up seeing some on and off snow showers for portions of tomorrow. So on and off throughout the day. But let's take a look at live radar right now. This is what I'm hitting the wrong button. Sorry about that. Here we go. I want to make this full screen so everyone can see. There we go. I know how the buttons work. Let's take a closer look where we're seeing some heavier snow coming down right now. So we're talking about places like Killingworth. Looks like a little bit of snow there. Wallingford has like a slightly area of lighter snow, but that will likely fill back in for you guys from Ansonia up Route 8. Also seeing some of that heavier, more moderate snow showers there, even maybe through sections of Waterbury. It's a little bit hard to see when we have it on this setup for the radar. So if I change this back to green, so this is what we usually show, when it's warm outside. This is easier to see where we have heavier and lighter areas of precipitation. So this is all snow, maybe a little bit sleet for some, but you can see there Killingworth, those little pockets of dark green and yellow. So that's some moderate snow, maybe a little sleet there. Wallingford, there's that little bit of a lull for you guys, but just off to your west. So Bethany, to Woodridge, Prospect, Waterbury, Wilkett, Southington, Bristol. Now we're getting closer to New Britain, Farmington, also still seeing that snow coming down at a pretty decent clip. And we see that for New Milford to Brookfield, Danbury, going up to New Fairfield, Sherman, Ridgefield, Reading, Easton, Trumbull, and Bridgeport also seeing some moderate snow, at least right now. Bob says New Haven got a foot of snow there. So good amount of snow so far for New Haven. And have you guys, let me know, in New Haven, have you guys seen a transition to sleet yet? All right, I'm also getting ready, guys, to just so you guys know, getting ready to do a couple of live hits here on TV. So I'll let you guys know when we're about to do a few live hits there. So as far as what we're seeing right now, again, look at this. It's some, actually just take this out. So look at this. We got definitely some heavier areas of precipitation there. But this is where the radar gets tricked a little bit. So that is sleet. So that is a good bit of sleet that's been hanging around portions of New Jersey. There's Manhattan right there. And even seeing that sleet moving through portions of New York, Long Island. But so far, it looks like at least that line has stayed just to our south. When I switch this over to Boston, though, you can see just how further north. So if we had to draw a line on this right now, let's see if I can just do a regular line here. Let's see if I can draw this. So you can see that line of sleet likely making its way into southeastern Connecticut there. It looks like it dips further back down, goes along the shore, and then we're seeing that bit around New York City. I can zoom in. That's not going to do it just as well. But either way, so there you go. I think that's where we're seeing some of that sleet coming down there in portions of the Connecticut shore. Let me just check in with the folks here, and let's see when our hit's coming up. Right. Hey, can you guys hear me in the control room? Still waiting. Let's see here. Hey, can you guys hear me downstairs? Okay. All right, so I think it's just going to be another minute here. So I'm just going to try to keep an ear out for them. So let's keep going. Let's talk about what we're seeing out there right now. All right. So yeah, I think the sleet line is kind of dipped down a little bit to the south, going through the Sound. And then, yeah, it's New York City that's been seeing a lot of sleet. But I would imagine just by looking at this radar here, I'm just listening in. Okay. Hey, can you guys hear me downstairs? Okay. Alrighty. I don't think they're coming to us just yet, so we'll have some time. All right, other conditions out there. I wanted to do this. So let's just switch this over to Boston. There we go. Now we can really zoom in here. So that is, I could see that being sleet there from Old Saybrook, East Lyme, Old Lyme, Waterford, Groton, New London, Noank, and then, yeah, sections of Mystic and maybe out through Stonington. So let me know what you guys are seeing in that part of Connecticut. Let me just double check here. All right, so we got 2 more hits, and then it's our time. All right. Hey, yeah, I got you guys. You got me? Okay. All right, that sounds good. Nick wants to know, is it snowing in Madison? Yeah, so it's snowed for you guys still. I don't think it's, let's see, Madison here. Yeah, so I think that's still just snow for you guys. You might start to see some mixing out there right now, actually. But you can just see how it's just a little bit of mixing so far. It's pretty cool to see that on radar. All right, let's put this back to all the radar sites here. Yeah, so it's tough to see. All right. It's very interesting. All right. Okay. Just keep me posted. All right, guys, we got about 2 minutes until our next hit. Eric wants to know, am I going to work tomorrow? I guess it depends on your office there. We'll be back to work tomorrow for sure. But we will end up seeing the kiddos probably have no school tomorrow. Work for us, yes. Sleet mixing in Stonington. Winds seem to be picking up as well. Okay, so great. Thanks so much, Marjorie, for letting us know there. Started sleeting in Old Saybrook. Missy, thanks so much for that update as well. So where you guys are seeing on the ground is kind of verifying what we're starting to see on radar for us. So there you go. That bright area of yellow is where we're talking about a little bit of sleet so far. So guys, thanks so much for those reports. Those are actually really big help for us. Karen says Harwington, about 14 inches of snow. So yeah, a good bit of a snowfall for you guys there. All right, we got probably about like a minute or so next until my next on-air hit. So just bear with me as I get ready for that. And if you guys have any other questions for me, let me know and I'll be able to answer those while we do this live on TV as well. Cindy says about 10 inches so far, and you guys are near Bradley. Yeah, so our last observation that we saw from Bradley was earlier, and it was only about 4 inches or so. So there you go, 10 inches as a possibility. And if we can stay cold, we also might break a record. I believe the record that was set back in the mid-60s for the most snow when we were below 10 degrees was only about like 4 or 5 inches. And I think we've exceeded that today. So we might have a new record on our hands there. Also, the potential to break some either 2-day or 1-day snowfall records, not out of the question for us going through portions of tonight. All right, I believe we're going to be coming up next here. So just stand by for us here. They're asking Andrew Rowan some questions right now, and then I think they're coming to me. Will we be getting lightning? So I don't think we're going to have the chance, Stacy, to see some thunder snow in Connecticut tonight. Unfortunately, as cool as that would be, I know we did have that opportunity back in December with a couple of storms there as well. All right. Hey, Justine, what are they tossing to me with? What's the script? Okay. All right, great. Kelly wants to know what will travel be like around 3 or 4 a.m. in Eastern Connecticut. It'll be you guys are going to be in much better shape, but we are going to end up. All right, guys, they're going to be coming to us. All right, stand by. Yeah, no, for sure. And I can't take the credit for that one because I saw my neighbor, and my neighbor's such an awesome guy. He came down with his leaf blower and did my sidewalk, the neighbor's sidewalk, his sidewalk. So he did the whole part of the street there. And I was like, oh, that looks like a really good idea. So I went out, tried it. I've never cleared snow that fast on the driveway before. I did it in 5 minutes. It was awesome. As soon as I did it, though, we ended up seeing the snow just add up so quickly. And that's what we've been hearing tonight is the snow that's been coming down at a very good clip for us. We're live on Facebook as well as on YouTube right now. So we've been answering some questions and we've been hearing some observations from around the state. So Gail right now says almost 15 inches of snow in Preston, and that was from about 5 or 10 minutes ago. We've also had some other questions. Will we lose power? And I think the risk for outages tonight is going to stay low. If this was a heavy, a wet snow for us, that would be, clinging to the trees, really like dragging things down, I think that threat would be higher. But because it's been more of a powder for most of the state, I think the risk for power outages there will be a little bit less for us. Kelly wanted to know what will travel be like around 3 or 4 a.m. She's in Eastern Connecticut. So moving through tonight, we are going to end up seeing things slowly start to improve for us. And it's going to take some time, but we are going to end up noticing things start to clear up a little bit more. Let's go through. I can bring in future radar for us and what we're kind of expecting as we move through tonight. So we'll notice that sleet line get closer to Connecticut. In fact, I have some folks on here that have already said that they've seen some sleet already along portions of the Connecticut shoreline. So Missy in Old Saybrook says starting to see some sleet there. Marjorie says sleet and a mix in Stonington. And also she's mentioned that the wind is starting to pick up as well. So we've noticed that going through portions of today, and we'll likely see that sleet line continue to move inland for portions of the state, especially along the 95 corridor. I haven't seen reports of sleet yet in the New Haven area, although I did see some snow totals in West Haven approaching a foot of snow, and we've seen more higher amounts. Karen in Harwington says about 14 inches there. Sydney in the Windsor Locks area says about 10 inches of snow, and she's right near Bradley Airport. So to go back to when will everything start to break apart here, we'll start to filter in some drier air a little bit later on tonight, really start to break things apart. So the snowfall rates, that will start to go down for us. Then as we push past about midnight into 2 a.m., it looks like a good bit of the snow has come to an end. So we get the crews a chance to breathe a little bit and clean up the roads, but we're not completely done with the snow just yet. By tomorrow morning, we start to see some snow showers filtering back into Connecticut on and off through the morning and the afternoon. So an additional inch or maybe 2, maybe even 3 inches of very fluffy snow could be possible for us going through the day tomorrow. So we're not done with the snow just yet. Daniel says no sleet in Sandy Hook. Just checked. Okay, so for southwestern Connecticut there, just plain old snowfall for you guys. Still all snow in Waterford and very cold. Yeah, our temperatures are very cold out there. And it's because of those cold temperatures that we've kind of added to that fluff factor a little bit. We're able to squeeze more snow out of the atmosphere. So in a traditional setup, our snowfall ratio is about 10-1. So, we're talking about where we end up seeing 1 inch of liquid precipitation that would end up equating to 10 inches of snow. But because we've been just so cold, single digit temperatures for some, that snowfall ratio has just been totally stretched, maybe 20-1, 15-1. So it has been something that we've kept an eye on there throughout the day. One more snowfall report there. Doreen in Orange says about 10 inches of snow. So guys, that is what folks have been asking me. That's what we've been seeing as far as snowfall observations. So we got more snow on the way, and Ryan will talk more about that forecast just a few minutes. Guys, back to you downstairs in the studio. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kevin. So I think that we'll get a chance for those crews to get out there, clean up the roads as we go through tonight. Remember, we're seeing, the good chunk of that heaviest snow kind of happening right now. But let's go back to future radar here, Kevin. I'll kind of walk you guys back through it. So between about, 7, 8 o'clock, I think we'll have that chance for some snow showers to kind of reappear there. Now, that could coat the roadways again, but the good news for tomorrow, it's not going to be as heavy and it shouldn't be quite as widespread either. So even though we'll get a little bit more snow tomorrow, Kevin, I think we'll be in much better shape with the roadways because the crews are going to be out there, treating stuff through the night and really getting a chance to clear things up. Now, not to say that things won't be slick tomorrow, but the roads, I think, will be in much better shape. Cool. All right, guys. So we just did a little hit here on TV, and we can get back to answering any of the questions that you guys might have. So we're doing this about an hour, and there's still about 200 folks watching. So, guys, thanks so much. If you have any questions for me about the forecast, I'll kind of do a reset here in just a second. But feel free to put those down in the comment section, and we'll be able to answer those for you guys. Alrighty. Let's see some other snowfall reports. Rich says about 10 to 11 inches in Watertown. William has about 17 in Plainfield, and it's still snowing. That's pretty impressive, and we still have more snow on the way for us. So we'll have to see how much more we can add to you guys' totals there in Plainfield. So how about that? 17 inches so far. That is one of the higher ones that I've seen. Now, again, when you guys are doing your snowfall measurements, make sure you're doing a couple in your yard. Don't just do one and assume that's what you have, because it's more of a powdery snow. There will be that potential to have that snow kind of get moved around with a little bit of a wind out there. So measure in at least 3 different spots and make sure you're away from your house. Make sure you're away from your building. Not the best measurement to do it on your deck. Try to do it out in your yard a little bit there if you want a more precise snowfall amount for us. So let's do a little reset here. Let's kind of get all our bearings. We'll kind of do another update start to finish for you guys. We'll answer just a couple more questions, then we'll do that reset there. Nick wants to know, would the wind cause power outages? I don't think so. As far as, causing power outages, we really need that, over 40 miles per hour or so. And I don't think we're quite going to get there for tonight. I think maybe up to 30 to 35. And we've kind of seen that already. But because this isn't a heavy wet snow, I think the power outage risk will remain limited for us. Same thing, Joyce, for your question there in Vernon. All right, excuse me, guys. All right, let's charge my phone here real quick. Actually, I think it's okay. All right, so let's do a little bit of a reset. We'll walk, for folks that are just joining us, we'll walk you guys through what we're expecting for the rest of tonight. And we're going to start with temperatures. So temperatures have been cold all day long for us. We've had single-digit temperatures at Bradley throughout the entire day. I don't think we made it past 10 degrees or so, maybe 7, maybe 8 degrees. Hartford's at 8 right now. Same thing all the way down to Meriden. Now it's a little bit warmer along the shore. We're close to 20 degrees down in Groton. So you'll notice, and you guys are already noticing some sleet out there right now. But we're also going to notice maybe some larger snowflakes and slightly heavier snow for you guys. But again, this is still relatively dry stuff right now. How about this view? I believe this is the view from Bradley International at Windsor Locks. The snow is really coming down as we speak. And we take you outside to Bridgeport. The visibility there, that's improved from earlier as well. And we have gotten a lot of snowfall reports from around the region. We zoom this out and you can just see who is seeing all of that snow. But in addition to the snow, there's also been a lot of ice. So we go down to the southeast and places like South Carolina, Georgia, some ice fall reports there, or some ice accumulation there. Belvidere, that's actually South Carolina. And they've gotten a little bit of looks like maybe a little bit of a glaze there. Some of the bridges are iced over. So Not too often. It happens from time to time, but not too often that you get some ice that far down south. There's also been severe weather for Florida, Georgia, the panhandle there of Florida. And then look at all those snowfall reports extending all the way to West Texas and even looks like even sections of New Mexico. So Texas, New Mexico, all the way to us here in New England. So a very wide-reaching system. Let's talk snow totals, what we've seen so far. Let's see if I can grab some of these guys. So the Hebron area, Columbia, about 6 inches. That was around 230. I know some of these I've mentioned earlier in the stream, but we'll go back to them. 6.5 inches out in Pomfret. In the Tolland area, now seeing about 6.5. That was from 2:30 this afternoon. So you add 3 hours to that, and you guys are probably closing in on 10 inches of snow. Same thing for the Manchester area. Let's try to go to northwestern Connecticut. Let's see. Barkhamsted, about 8 inches. That was at 3:30. So maybe closing in on a foot of snow for you guys. Torrington, also about 8 inches of snow. That was at 3:30. So 2 hours ago. So wouldn't be surprised if you guys also maybe closing in on, 10 to 12 inches of snow. Lori says more than a foot already in Terryville. Bring on the snow. Yeah, more snow there. How much snow in Lisbon? Great question, Gary. So I can get rid of these guys. Let me go down to southeastern Connecticut. So the Lisbon area, I don't think we have in your area, but we can go to Ledyard, 5.5 there. Gales Ferry, about 4 inches. And again, that was at about 1:45 this afternoon. So that's been up for a while. You guys are probably closer. Probably closer up. Let's see what these obs were. 6.5. You guys are probably closer to either 7 to 8 inches of snow. Wouldn't be surprised if you guys saw that much. Jasmine says at least a foot and 3 inches in Enfield. So breaking that 1 foot mark. Julia, what about Broadbrook? So for Broadbrook, South Windsor, that area, don't have any snowfall reports for you guys, but the closest ob would be Manchester or Tolland, and that was about 7 inches of snow, and that was at 2:30. So maybe closing in on a foot of snow, Julie, for you guys. We still got more snow on the way, guys. That snow is just going to continue. Sounds like sleet is currently hitting the skylights off my roof in West Haven. All right, so maybe starting to see a little bit of a changeover. Let's take a look at our dual pole radar here. So yes, the radar is going to turn red, and I will explain why it does that. So we are no longer looking at the precipitation type. We are now looking at the size of the individual particles that are falling from the sky, more or less. So what the radar is looking for here is things that are different, things that are not the same. So here we go. Great example. Let's keep this on the Boston radar. All right, let's switch this to Boston. All right, so when we're looking at this version of the radar, everything that we see here in a solid, red shading is one type of precipitation. So you look at, this area, just around the Middletown area or just south of Middletown, that is all snow forest. But where we start to see these brighter shades of colors, these yellows, that's where we're noticing some mixing, so some sleet. So the Boston radar has shown that for a little bit, and you guys have confirmed this for me too. So Groton to Old Saybrook, seeing some of that sleet. So for you guys in the New Haven area, maybe West Haven, let me switch this back to New York. And let's see. So New York City, now that line has passed through New York, and this could even be, you might even be seeing some sleet from Greenwich to Stamford, maybe Norwalk as well. But I wouldn't be surprised if you guys are also seeing that along the rest of the 95 quarter. I think we're just getting to this part. There might be a little bit of a weird gap here, but all in all, I wouldn't be surprised if we're seeing that sleet line hugging 95 down the shore and then going toward New York City. So not the clearest signal right now, at least. But that's what we've been kind of keeping an eye on there. Julia, it looks like you went out 16 inches now in Broadbrook. So thanks for that update. Right now, you're supposed to drive into work. How is Hartford looking? If you have to drive into work tonight, if you live a good distance away, just make sure you're driving slow. The roads out there are a mess. I mean, I was driving in at 11:30 this morning, and I was sliding around a little bit there. So they are pretty gross right now, and they're likely going to stay gross through tonight. By tomorrow morning, though, I think we'll be in much better shape. So, Christine, if you have to drive out tonight, just make sure you're driving slow. Make sure you're giving yourself plenty of time to get from point A to point B. Let's see, any other stuff? I know I've been scrolling around. I might have missed a few questions here. Let's see. Angela. I think I answered everyone's questions so far. So what I'll do is just go back to kind of walking through the forecast. So I'll put this back to our future radar. So let's walk through what we can expect kind of going through the rest of tonight here. So a mix of sleet along the Connecticut shoreline. I know the model doesn't show that right now, but that's what we're seeing. That sleet will continue through about 9 p.m. Briefly, maybe even moving a little bit further inland. So, we're talking about maybe up through Middletown, seeing some of that sleet, and then we're changing right back over to plain old snow for us. And then as we go through that overnight period, just a few areas of on and off lighter snow showers. And then that could pick up a little bit more going through tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon. So likely not having school for the kiddos tomorrow, but things will clear up by Monday evening into portions of Tuesday. And this is where everything will start to clear back out. Now we stay cold. That doesn't change for us. We stay pretty chilly, but the kids will likely be back to school as we go through portions of Tuesday. So over the next 10 days, here's what you can expect. Here's a look at that 10-day forecast. So today, we're still seeing, a good bit of snow out there and on and off snow showers likely for tomorrow. Temperatures will be warmer across the board, lower 20s there. And then we just hang on to the 20s, even moving through the rest of this week. So likely not getting above freezing. We stay below freezing all the way through the following week. So not this Tuesday, but next Tuesday is when it's looking like our chance to warm up above freezing. So the snow that falls tonight will stay on the ground for us as we go through, portions of the upcoming week. So it's going to be staying on the ground for a while. 20s for afternoon temperatures this week. And look at those morning temperatures staying in the single digits, and maybe for some parts of Connecticut, the next couple of mornings, maybe even flirting with 0. So very cold, very chilly for sure. There's a look at that shoreline forecast going through the next 10 days. Our temperatures staying into the 20s, even for the shoreline. And it's same situation. It's not until next Tuesday that we end up seeing Monday, Tuesday, that we end up seeing those temperatures warm up a little bit more, getting above freezing. So cold across the board, across the entire state, moving forward over the next 10 days. So very cold for sure. Steven says some public buses have been suspended. Yeah, not surprised there. Just the amount of snow that we have coming down, again, at a very decent clip for us right now as well. So that's what we'll keep an eye on there. Let me just ask if we have any other live TV hits in this half hour. I know we're going to be live at 6 as well, and then I'll get back to going through the forecast. Alrighty. I'm jealous. 84 in St. Augustine. You look at the national map and it's always Florida. It's always South Florida that's enjoying those warm conditions. So let's see here. Let me pull it up. I'm just curious because this, because the system is so wide spreading, there's a lot of cold across a good majority of the country. Let's see, I'm having a hard time finding the graphic. Temperatures. All right. Oh, that's departure from normal. This will be impressive to look at too. There you go. Departure from normal. This just goes to show the amount of cold air, not only for us in New England, but across a good majority of the country here. Departure from normal right now for Hartford is we're 26 degrees cooler than what we should be, even as we've gone through this afternoon. So cold air across the area. But you look at St. Louis, Cincinnati, Texarkana, Amarillo, Texas, like 30 degrees cooler than normal. And then, of course, you look at Florida, and they're maybe even a little bit warmer than normal. So a big cutoff there. Pretty wild. All right, let's see. I think they might be. Let's see. I think they might be coming to us. Hey, can you guys hear me downstairs? Yes. Live hit coming up. Okay. And then do you know what the plan is for 6 o'clock? Okay. Alrighty. Alrighty. So they're going to be coming to us in just a few minutes. So I got a little bit more time. Sanj says, I am snowbound at BDL. I'm closed until 7. Oof. Only 10 aircraft on the ground to dig out. And, Tweed and New Haven, they actually just closed like all together too. So yeah, it's pretty rough if you're trying to fly on today. I think there might even definitely be some delays even going through tomorrow as well. So feeling for folks that have to try to fly out there today. All right, let me just get let's get this hit set back up. So we can be ready for some on-air chats. All right, let's see. Okay. Sandra says, really windy and pouring snow in Torrington right now. I can definitely see that. That's for sure. We'll get to the radar here in just a minute. I'll also look at some of our wind speeds too. But we are getting ready for a TV hit here. Let me just pull this up real quick. I can do that. There you go. How about that? Gust right now at Bridgeport, 40 miles per hour. The only thing that Bridgeport is really missing is that visibility. Let's see. Mile of visibility there. So earlier we had one component of blizzard conditions, but not the other. And we've kind of flip-flopped that right now. All right, let's see. Move this around. All right, guys, so just bear with me here for a minute. I'm going to get my show ready, and we're going to do a quick little live hit for television. But keep asking questions because I'll answer your questions here, and we'll get that on TV for us. So feel free to ask away as I'm just kind of getting ready here. All righty. Okay. Alrighty. right, guys, just bear with me here. Just gonna get ready for our TV hit. We have a foot or more or snow. We have a foot or more snow in our driveway in New Britain. There you go. All right, foot of snow. And guys, keep asking questions. We're going to do a live hit on TV here in just a second, and then I'll be able to answer those on the air for us. So keep asking questions. My buddy in Coventry just said about it's about 9 or 10 inches of snow there. Alrighty. All right, guys. Yeah, so what we've been really noticing, Kyle, is folks that have been asking about, how much snow have they seen in their backyard, and we've got a lot of folks that have been giving us snowfall reports there. So we've gotten a few different snowfall reports from across the area. Some of the higher ones to throw out there. So Julianne in Broadbrook says close to about 16 inches of snow, and we're talking about more snow that's going to be on the way for us. But one of the things that we've also mentioned and also have heard from folks is that now they're starting to see, and we're starting to verify, a little bit of sleet for portions of the Connecticut shoreline. So I wanted to walk you through, guys, what we're kind of seeing on radar right now as well. I'm going to switch this over to our dual pole radar, which kind of shows the different size particles. So when things are just, plain old red, that is, we're seeing one type of precipitation. And if you're away from the shoreline, that's going to be snow for us. However, when we take a look at the shoreline, we also end up noticing that there's not necessarily just red, but also a little bit of yellow that mixes in. So now we're starting to see for places like Clinton, Old Saybrook, going through Old Lyme, East Lyme, Groton, New London, out toward Mystic and Stonington, likely seeing some mixed precipitation coming down right now. Now, it looks like that this line kind of drapes just to the south of the shoreline for New Haven. So maybe not seeing sleet yet in the New Haven area, but I have heard from folks that have saying that they've gotten close to about a foot or so in the New Haven area, just plain old snowfall there. And then that line continues to hug the Connecticut shoreline as we go through right now. And that's just going to continue, guys, to move further and further north as we head through tonight. And then eventually we change back to snow, and then more on and off snow showers possible as we go through the day tomorrow. So we're not completely done with the snow just yet. Guys, back to you. Okay, awesome. Alrighty, guys. We are in good shape here. Alrighty, my husband, B, is keeping up with the snow shoveling on the sidewalk and the deck rather than wait until the snow is totally done. That's probably a good idea. That's probably a good idea for sure. Get little chunks of it done at a time. Lynn, from where you are, do you still notice, is the snow more of that powder? Is it a little bit heavier? Let me know kind of what type of snow. Because I did it earlier, and I didn't honestly really know how it would work, but I used the leaf blower instead of the shovel, and I did the whole driveway. Now, granted, I think there's only like 3 or 4 inches of snow. This was this morning on the ground at the time, but I did the whole driveway in like 5 minutes, and I'm not even really exaggerating when I say I did it in 5 minutes. It was the easiest I've ever had to, shovel snow. So maybe if you guys have the leaf blower, maybe try giving that a try too. But let me know what kind of snow you guys are seeing out there. And Sandra's saying really windy and pouring snow in Torrington. So I have this up right now. This shows our precipitation type. So is it snow? Is it sleet? We see sleet there highlighted when those brighter areas of color of yellow. When we change this back to snow, let's see what we're talking about in the Torrington area. I know this is kind of hard to see, so I like to change this over. Yeah, so it looks like just outside of Torrington, depending on where you are, looks like a good bit of snow that's kind of coming down right now. So I changed this over to green. It's just an easier color to kind of differentiate between what's coming down harder versus a lighter. But just know when it's green here, in this case, it means that it is just all snowfall there. So it looks like it's snowing pretty heavily. As you go down 202 from Torrington toward Litchfield, probably snowing pretty good. I don't think I have Litchfield routed into my cameras, but it's still Bradley. Take a look at this view from Bradley. Really coming down there in Windsor Locks. Also, not quite as bad with the visibility in Bridgeport. That's Bridgeport. But something to notice too, take a look at the harbor there with those big chunks of ice kind of just floating around. So those cold temperatures have definitely worked around a little bit there. And yeah, even some ice floating down parts of the river into the harbor. Lynn, that was in Columbia. Okay, so I think you guys have definitely seen more of a powdery so far, but we'll have to see if that changes for you guys. So let me know if you end up seeing a change even in Columbia, maybe it's mixing in a little bit of sleet. So let us know. Will Harwington and Litchfield County break apart by 9 p.m. Or later? Okay, Karen, a great question there. Let's go to future radar. Just jump around here. Let's see, future radar. After 9 p.m., I would imagine things start to lighten up a little bit for you guys. So yes, I think it'll start to break apart a little bit. We're still seeing some pretty impressive snowfall rates right now, and that is just continuing to, add to everything for us. So we'll kind of keep an eye on those, but the trend moving past 9 p.m. is to really start to dial back, the heavy precipitation for us. All right, let's get a couple sips of water here. So Karen, hopefully that answered your question there. And guys, we'll still be dealing with on and off snow showers going through tomorrow. So just don't be surprised if you're going out the door tomorrow and you're saying, oh, there's still snow coming down. On and off snow showers for Monday. Definitely a possibility there for us. So we'll keep an eye on that. Some pictures that I got from earlier today. So thanks for some of you guys from sending us in. This was from Colchester. You can see this again. This is from earlier this afternoon, but a good bit of snow there. And how about Norman's first snow? Thanks, Sarah, for sending us in this photo of some of the pups there enjoying the snow. I love this video. Caitlin, thanks so much for sending us in. This is her pup in Vernon. Not a care in the world, just out there. He's loving life. He's enjoying. There you go, full screen. You can see it there. He's enjoying the snow. Let me know how your pups are enjoying the snow as well, and maybe how the kiddos and yourself, how you guys are also enjoying it. Of course, you can always send us your photos. You can email them to us at share it at nbcconnecticut.com. And then any of our posts that we've done this afternoon, whether that's the NBC Connecticut account, my personal, my weather accounts there on Facebook, Instagram, shoot me a message on any of those as well. We would love to show off your photos and how you've been enjoying your day there. I also got to show this picture. I have not seen what has been going on with the game, but Drake Pup May, seeing some of that snow there. So I have not looked at the game. So no spoilers in the comments, please. No idea how that game is been shaping up. Again, no spoilers, please. This was sent us from Dawn in Barkhamsted earlier today. Some of that snow that was coming down there as well. So a good bit of snow out there, and we are not done yet. I also want to show you guys some of the current, if I can. I think I'll be able to pull this up, but I wanted to show you guys some of the current precipitation rates. Now, this is going to say rainfall rate, but just know that this is talking about snow and a little bit of sleet. So it looks like this has been skewed a little bit. I think that's because of the sleet coming down. So that tends to mess with the radar a little bit. So we put this over. Let's see if it'll do it. I might have to do it off on the side. Let's see. Try this way. Yeah, closer to, I don't think that's correct. I think this is actually a lot higher. This was saying not even an inch per hour. And if that's sleet, it would definitely be showing something higher. So not quite what I wanted to show, but let me pull up our forecasted snowfall rates as we go through the rest of tonight, because I think this also paints, a good picture of what we can expect kind of moving forward and kind of going through the overnight period there. So right now, we'll likely end up seeing the snowfall rate start to come down a little bit along the shoreline. We've seen that in portions of southwestern Connecticut and Bridgeport, although it depends on where you are. Still some moderate snow possible coming down in northern Connecticut. That continues. Again, there's about 9 o'clock. And after that point, we start to break apart those snow showers, lighter snowfall rates. And then as we go through the day tomorrow, as you can see, just highlighted with that lighter area of blue, pockets of snow showers tomorrow. So half an inch maybe per hour. So your typical snow shower there. So the bulk of the snow tonight will end by about 9 p.m. And then after that, I think we're going to be in much better shape. Hey, Justine, is that you? Justine, is that you? Okay, I was going to wrap this up soon, but just let me know if you wanted me to jump in. Okay. All right, guys. TBD if we're going to be doing a hit for the 6. Alrighty. Let's see. Yeah, so our snowfall rates tonight, guys, really just going to drop off after 9 p.m. That will make it a lot easier to clean up those roads, because I know everything is still a good bit of a mess there. Mary's asking about snow totals. Let's talk about some snow totals. That'll buy us a little bit of time as well as we're waiting for the 6 o'clock news. Alrighty. So we've started to fill in eastern Connecticut a little bit more. Let's start in northeastern Connecticut. We'll go kind of right to left here across the screen. So let's see what we've got so far. Just outside of Plainfield in Wargren. I know I'm saying that wrong, so apologies. 10 inches of snow there. Pretty impressive. That was at 4:20 this afternoon, so maybe close to about a foot so far. Danielson, you guys are at about 5 inches. That was from earlier as well. Staffordville, 5 inches from earlier this afternoon, probably closer to 10 at this point. Eastford, this was about 4 o'clock. And that was about 9 inches of snow. Let's see what else we got here. Coventry, over a foot. This was about 4:30, so about an hour and a half ago. So maybe, yeah, closer to about maybe 13 or 14 inches of snow. Alrighty, 6.5 inches in Bolton. That was also around 2:30, so that was an older report. Not too, I wouldn't be surprised if we were closer to a foot or so in Bolton as well. We cross the river and we go into central and western northern Connecticut there. Simsbury, you're about 10 inches. That was from 5 o'clock. So maybe closer to a foot there as well. Bakersville at about 10 inches of snow just outside of Torrington, also closer to about 8 inches. Again, that was a little while ago. Winston was at 7.5 at 3. So that was closer to 7.5 inches around 3 p.m. So I think you guys are going to be closer to maybe 10 or 11 inches as of now. I did get some other, let's see. I had some other reports, some folks sending me some stuff here. Let's see if I can try to pull these up here. Alrighty. my friends have sent me some videos here. They're in the Avon area. So this was from earlier, about 7 inches of snow at Avon Old Farms. Let's see, 13. Okay, this was a new update. This is a new update. 13 inches or more at about 4:30 from Avon Old Farms. Let's continue for the rest of Connecticut here. Excuse me, guys. All right, so we still have not seen official reports yet in Litchfield County, at least a lot of reports there. So Litchfield, Morris, going into Bethlehem, Woodbury, New Preston, Warren, Cromwell, Salisbury. Let me know what you guys are seeing out there. How much have you guys seen so far today? We go to southwestern Connecticut, just outside of Bridgeport. I believe this was an earlier report. Close to about 9 inches of snow there. In Easton, Weston, over 11 inches of snow. And New Canaan, about 11 inches of snow as well. Also New Canaan, about 9, just under 10. And we move, actually, let me make sure I get some of the folks. I've had a couple of people ask about Stamford. Stamford there, that was at 5 o'clock, 10.5 inches of snow. And we go to Greenwich in Port Chester. Okay, so just over the border there, 11 inches of snow there. Same thing, must have been an extra report. Greenwich, about 8.5 inches for you guys. So we'll go, let's get back to the New Haven area where I'm talking to some folks on here. And from what we've seen on reports, getting close to about a foot of snow. Stratford had 8 inches. That was at 2 o'clock. So wouldn't be surprised if you were at, maybe closer to a foot. This was 5 inches in Milford at 1 p.m. And here we are 5 hours later. So potentially over 10 inches, maybe closing in on a foot there if you guys haven't transitioned over to sleet just yet. 345, a foot of snow in West Haven. You guys are maybe closer to 14 inches at this point. And a different report from the other side of town, about 7 inches there from about 2:30 this afternoon. It's actually funny. So I'm listening to Andrew Rowan in my ear. They're live at the 6 o'clock show. And I can see some of his live pictures, and he's talking about how folks have done a good job of kind of staying off the roadways for tonight, which is great because, guys, the roads are just awful. And it's not because the crews are just not out there. It's just they've been dealing with very heavy snowfall rates, and that is just kind of working against them. There's only so much that you can do to keep up with the snow. The good news, the snowfall rates will decrease tonight. So the bulk of the snow kind of coming to an end after 9 p.m., and that will give crews a good amount of time to really start to clear things up. So great news there. 1 p.m. from Madison, about 5 inches, likely probably above 10 at this point. Clinton, about 11 inches of snow. That was at 4:30, more than likely over a foot at this point. So we'll keep an eye there. Let me just double check that these guys don't need me here for the 6 o'clock. I'm also getting some emails with some snow reports. So let me go through some of them. All right, let's see. All right, let's see. 11 inches of snow. And that was in New Fairfield. Let's see, that was just from a couple minutes ago. So yeah, we're seeing those snow totals really starting to stack up for some parts of the state. See, Bella, I see your question here about Groton. We'll get to you in just a second. Westbrook, let's see what we have for you guys. Close to about 10 inches of snow, and that was at 4:30, so maybe a foot of snow on the ground for you guys. All right, let's go over to Groton. Let's see, right on the Groton side of the river. Let's see, that was about 6.5. That was at 3 o'clock, though, so, 3 hours later, maybe closing in on 10 inches of snow, not out of the question. 10.5 inches of snow at 4:30 in New London. And there you got me some right next door. So yeah, maybe closer to a foot of snow for you guys at this point. So very healthy storm, very good amount of snow if you're a snow lover there. Carol wants to know, will I be able to fly into Bradley tomorrow at about 4:30? So part of that is going to be where you're flying from. So Carol, let me know where you're flying from there. If you're coming from Florida, you're not gonna have a problem getting here, and they should have the runways cleaned up by the afternoon. You know, Bradley didn't close today. I think a lot of the flights just got canceled, but we saw Tweed, they closed earlier today. So that's been, oh, Carol, you're coming in from Chicago. All right. So I think the bulk of this stayed to your, well, they got some snow reports there in Chicago. Let's see. Come on. That was Wisconsin, 1.5 inches. So I don't think it's too bad for you. So I think you'll be okay getting in, but of course, just make sure you're staying updated with your airline too, and make sure you're checking in if you're flying out of O'Hare. Feels like a foot of snow in Enfield. I couldn't get into my car without getting without snow going inside. I wouldn't be surprised. You know, the forecast is up to about 18 inches of snow. Earlier, we had a report in Broadbrook that was about 16 inches, I think, from Joyce. So we are, you know, hold on 1 second, guys. No, I don't think they're coming to us. All right. So I wouldn't be surprised, you know, if you're right, a foot or more as a possibility for you guys there. Ria wants to know, has it stopped? It has not stopped, and it is going to continue for the next several hours for us too. So let's go back to that radar. It is still snowing at a good clip for most of the state. Some pockets of lighter snow, but we still got plenty more that has to fill in for us, Rita, as we go through tonight. So let's go back to kind of the composite. It looks like a decent little snow band there too, stretching from northern New Jersey through the upstate New York, and then now sections of southwestern Connecticut. So it looks like it's coming down pretty good in Trumbull up to Reading, to Danbury, Sandy Hook. Let me know what you guys are seeing there. Or what that could be indicating is a little bit of sleet that is starting to mix in too. And that's definitely a possibility. Dave says, just cleared about a foot from my driveway in North Guilford. Dave, how is the snow? Is it a more, you know, dense snow? Is it still fluffy? Could you use your leaf blower if you wanted to? Let me know how that's kind of shaping up there. Victoria wants to know how much more. Victoria, let me know where you're watching from, and I can try to answer that for you. Depends on where you are. I think we'll definitely still have the possibility for some, maybe another 5 inches of snow for some areas. Our snowfall rates are relatively high right now. I think still for some areas, not for all, but for some. We're going to notice that really start to go down, getting past about 9 p.m. Victoria there from Meriden. All right, Meriden, let's see. Yeah, so Meriden. And also let me know, have you guys noticed a changeover to sleet yet? Or is it just plain old snowfall? Because if it's just snow and you haven't seen sleet yet, another several inches by the time all of this is said and done, definitely possible for you. Dave says, no leaf blower, 36-year-old snowblower, did good. Through about 25 feet. Love that. Excuse me. My snowblower, I just need to get it serviced, honestly. It's been in the shed for a while, and it just was not having fun trying to start. So I went, instead of the snowblower, I tried the leaf blower, and that worked out pretty well. So I gave it a try there. Let me know if you guys have any good spots too that you like to service any of your gear. Love to know some good spots for that. Robin wants to know how much more in Stamford for you guys. I would imagine that is a little bit more limited, but a couple inches still possible. It just depends on how much sleet really starts to get filled in for you guys. Dave's saying he's starting to see some graupels, so maybe maybe some sleet starting to mix in for you guys. Bianca says Hartford and like an hour ago between 10 to 13 inches of snow. And going back to Meriden, I have to work in the morning. How much more there? So yeah, a few more inches, definitely still possible maybe another 4 or 5 inches of snow, not out of the question for some parts of Connecticut going through tonight. So pretty wild. A good, healthy snowstorm. We haven't had a snowstorm like this, I believe, since 2021. So it's been, more or less 5 years since we have a snowstorm like this. Think you've shoveled about a foot of snow so far in New Britain. Yeah, that is a good bit of snow for us. And more snow is on the way. So just get ready for that. We zoom things back out. You can see very heavy snowfall going on Cape Cod, the islands, sections of Rhode Island, and then even areas in eastern Connecticut, Plainfield, Griswold, Franklin, and Windham, Willimantic. Maybe some moderate snow as well. New Haven, Milford, Branford, maybe even sections of Guilford. Yeah, they're on the cusp there of some moderate snowfall. And like what some of you guys have mentioned, maybe even starting to see some of that sleet kind of get into it as well. Change this back over to our dual pole radar. And there you go. Alrighty. And Daniel. All right, let's see. This last shovel was heavier. Sleet is mixing in. Oh, all the way in New Britain. All right, so we're even seeing some mixing further to the north as well. Maybe kind of going through the Connecticut River Valley a little bit. And sometimes, this is happening just a little bit too low and the radar can't pick up on it. Because I look at it right now and it looks like just snow. But I'm glad you guys are letting us know kind of what's going on. All right, let me just check in here with the 6 o'clock show. I will send in a video from Sandy Hook, snowing fairly heavily, from what I can tell. Yeah, we really appreciate all the video, and you guys can send that to our email address. Really appreciate all the video. You can also, send me a direct message on Instagram, all that kind of stuff. Another way to get me some photos, as well as some video there. So I'll put it up on the screen for you guys. The email is shareit@nbcconnecticut.com. Or you can tag us on social media. So you can tag NBC Connecticut. You can also tag us, myself or Ryan Hannerhan individually on our social media pages there. Always appreciate when you guys send in some photos, video, and our snowfall reports. Love it. Hey, Justine, can you hear me? Alrighty. All right, let's see. Stand by one second. I'm just going to prep if I have to do for the 6 o'clock hit here. Alrighty. Also, let's go Pats, by the way, too. I'm just hearing sports in my ear. Let's go Pats. Dan wants to know, is it still coming down at about 1 inch an hour? I believe it is. It's been a little tough to tell. I wanted to use a different radar product that just didn't quite work the way I wanted it to. But let me pull this up here. Let's pull up another shot at radar. Let's see. Let's see. At least for New Britain, I was trying to see. Yeah, so it looks like still coming down at a decent clip. Let's try to see outside. Let's go back to Bradley. Oh, it's been changed. Let's go to Mystic. Still coming down. Looks like pretty good there, but we can definitely see more. We showed you the shot earlier, and you couldn't even see downtown. Now you can kind of see the snow there in the lights. What I have noticed, though, we'll go to visibility. The the visibility has improved. So that's some good news. So our snowfall rates are decreasing, which is great. So Daniel, to go back to your question there, I would say it's probably closer to an inch per hour, maybe not even that high. Visibility, Meriden to Hartford, about half a mile. But take a look at Greenwich, Bridgeport, Groton, and Willimantic, now at about a mile of visibility. So you guys have been starting to clear things up just a little bit more. I'm sorry, I'm just taking a look at the screen here. I don't think they need me for 6. All right. Wind gusts right now. We've noticed that wind picking up, and you can see that on some of our cameras there. Gusts, Stonington, Groton, Chester, Meriden now over 20 miles per hour, 30 mile per hour gust in Groton, 36 at Bridgeport. And I believe they saw at Sikorsky there a gust to about 40 or 41 not that long ago. Let's see. Waterbury now about 20 mile per hour gust. And as far as those snowfall rates go, really seeing a drop off over the next 3 hours or so. And it's after we get past about 9 p.m. where we're going to really kind of slow down how much snow we're accumulating out there. Dave wants to know, what is the void line on the radar sweep that shows up to the northwest in New York? Oh, okay. I think I know what you're talking about. Yes. And we love it when the radar gets blocked like this. So I'm assuming you're talking about this little blockage here. This is a problem when you get interference with the radar. And it just so happens that the radar site, when it was put in here, there's actually, so if we zoom all the way to Upton, New York and Long Island, there's actually a chimney. I believe it's a chimney that is right in the way of the radar beam. And because it's so close to the beam, as you zoom out from that, you can kind of see just how much it expands. So it's because of a chimney that's actually blocking the radar beam itself. And that's why we have that line that kind of goes through it. Connecticut, we're kind of lucky where we don't really have that much interference with radar. If you ever look at radar in Vermont, it is challenging. We'll put it that way. It can be very difficult because of the mountains that will end up blocking it. So for Connecticut, there's really not that much that gets in the way. But just that one little chimney in New York, and that's why we have that line, that annoying line that kind of goes through part of the screen there. Natalie in Woodstock, about 12 plus inches of snow. Thanks so much for that update there. I think we have a foot or so in Manchester, in the top case, on the top of Case Mountain there. Okay, Jill. So thanks so much for that update. I gotta look at my camera at the house. I'm also in Manchester, and then we had like a few inches of snow at about 10 o'clock this morning. It really came down at a really, quick clip there. I'm curious to see. Oh yeah, that's a good. I'm looking at the camera now. So that is a good clip for sure. Let's see. I don't think they're coming up to us at 6. Alrighty. All right, let's keep it going here. So we talked about that little interesting blip on the radar there. Wrapping things up, guys. So in a nutshell for tonight, we're talking about the snow beginning to taper off, likely after 9 p.m. And then as we go through the overnight period, we're really going to break that snowfall apart. Still expecting snow for Monday, but it's going to be on and off throughout the day, but still can't rule out for Monday another inch to maybe 2 inches of snow possible on top of what we see tonight. So in total, it really depends on where you are, but still another few inches of snow likely for us by the time all of this wraps up. So we still got more snow on the way. We're going to see some sleet along the shoreline. We'll have to see how far north that can really make it. We had some reports of some sleet up into the New Britain area. So we'll really have to see as we go through tonight. That will help weigh the snow down a little bit more, and that can end up seeing those totals kind of get cut off a little bit. So we'll keep a close eye on that. We're going to have more updates for you guys as we go through the night, both on air as well as on our social media platforms. We're also going to be live on the NBC Connecticut streaming channel. If you don't know how to get there, you can download our app. It's going to be the live button there on the app, both for your phone as well as for your smart TV. I'm also going to get downstairs and check out my email. If you guys have been sending us some photos, would love to see that there. And let us know what you guys are seeing outside too. How much snow have you seen today? Let us know. Shoot us a message. Would love to see what's going on across the state. But I really appreciate you guys. We have now hit 2 hours on the stream, and we still have about 150 folks watching. So really appreciate you guys. We're going to have more live updates throughout the night. If you have any other questions about the forecast, always feel free to shoot me a message on Facebook, Instagram, shoot me an email. Would love to be able to answer those weather questions for you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great night. Enjoy some of that snowfall.